Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and today I wanted to talk about one of the latest mechanics in the Festival Legends expansion that may be at a historic level of just being really bad. And I'm not talking about the rifts, I'm talking about a mechanic that's shared across multiple classes. And well, as a comparison, we have Joust from the Grand Tournament, regarded as one of the worst mechanics in the game. Before we get into what the mechanic is that I'm talking about, and if it's worse and why I think it really is, I just want to give a friendly reminder that we are less than 1,000 subs short of 69,420. And it would be awfully nice if we hit that milestone so we could do our next big giveaway, which will not be of Joust cards, I promise. So yeah, one of the most infamous bad mechanics in the game was Joust, where you would reveal a minion, each opponent or each player would reveal a minion in their deck. If yours costs more, you would get a bonus effect. For this card, the Skeleton Knight, which was a 6-mana 7/4, do nothing, wasn't an undead until very recently, by the way, you would get to put it back to your hand and play it again for 6 mana. Utterly terrible, right? But to be fair to Joust, some cards saw a tiny bit of play. Master Jouster, I think during the Grand Tournament itself, saw a little bit of play, but the high roll of not getting Taunt in Divine Shield or just playing a 6-mana 5/6, pretty awful. Even Jouster didn't really see play, because why are you playing this in you're playing a low cost minion that you want to get a benefit in an expensive deck. Didn't make much sense. But Healing Wave saw plenty of play because restoring for 7, not too bad. 14, very good. We also saw Argent Lance see play in Paladin, just getting that extra durability was nice. And King's Alec saw a lot of play in a lot of mid-range hunters. It was just a 2-mana 3/2 beast. That was fine. And if you drew a card or a minion or whatever, that was also fine. So overall, Joust, as you see, was like terrible. The best examples of it being playable were like okay, and yeah, it's regarded as one of the worst. So am I talking about the finale keyword mechanic? By the way, Joust was never a keyword. Neither is the one we're going to talk about. Finale's not too bad. There are cards that are seeing plenty of play, Hardcore Cultist being one of them. Summer Flower Child doing very good work in Druid. This is a very solid hunter card, and I mean, that token is just, look at that face. It's absolutely adorable. Volume up whenever Mage becomes like decent. This card is absolutely insane, and the finale is a big part of it, right? So the finale mechanic is seeing play. It's pretty good. A lot of the times you don't even need the finale effect to really get it going. Like sometimes it's just a decent card on its own. And outside of the rifts, which, yeah, they're terrible. You could argue this is the worst mechanic ever, but it's at least in one class, and if they just make these all 1 mana cheaper, it'd probably be in line with everything else in the game and not be that bad. And hell, Ghost Rider sees play and all that. So what is the worst mechanic? Well, the Soloists. The Soloists are some of the worst cards we have seen in Hearthstone that are across such a wide spectrum. Like, we've seen Adventurers, we've seen Caravans. Those weren't great, but they saw fringe play. Even like the Paladin Caravan, if you remember that, it saw a tiny bit of play and wasn't in that many decks across that many classes, but probably the best comparable recently. But the Soloists are atrocious. Like Guitar Soloist, a class like Demon Hunter that could draw cards like nothing, 5 mana, and for every Soloist card, you must control no other minions. You draw a spell, a minion, and a weapon. So it's conditional, and the payoff just really isn't there. Hunter, one of the most aggressive classes in the game that always likes to fight for board. For some reason, it's going to play a Soloist that's not even well statted, and the effect is you get to discover and cast a secret. Like, I don't even know if I would play this if it was just the battle cry without the condition. I probably would, but it's really not that busted. I guess Mage would be crying with their old 4-mana 2/2 back in the day, but still, Hunter Secrets are not as good as Mage Secrets. The Keyboard Soloist, I might playing this when there's a 3-mana spell damage +2. Can't go face, but I mean, most of the Mage stuff you don't even care right now. Saxophone Soloist, I am still trying to figure out what the hell you're supposed to do with this card. Opera Soloist is the card that I thought would do the best because, yeah, you kind of want to be behind in a Control Warlock and deal 3 damage. When we look at the numbers, you'll see it's not doing great, but I think that's more of a Warlock issue. I do think this is probably the only good soloist. Warrior, a conditional taunt. I mean, do we need to say any more than that? How many of those have they had? None of them ever work out. And yeah, a soloist, not going to work out. And then the free card we all get, Cowbell Soloist. The upside of it, right? Deal 2 damage. Used to be on the Cthulhu minion. Sure, it had half the stats, but you really didn't care. So yes, basically every soloist minion on paper seems bad, but what about the numbers? If we look at Diamond through Legend since the last patch, well, you know what? Let's expand it. Let's expand it through the entire Festival Legends. Only 5 of them appear because they are played that infrequently, by the way. We're going to have to look at sparse data. And I'm doing Diamond through Legend. That is a bit more, captures a bit more than just Legend. We could do Bronze through Gold, I suppose, but still, we only have 5 captured without sparse data. Let's spread that out and see that, oh my God, not only does not a single soloist card is included in a deck that actually can win a game. They just can't. They almost bring them all down. We have the saxophone soloist, which for some reason is played in a deck. Somebody out there has got to explain that one to me. It's in a deck that has a 48% deck win rate. When played, it has a 37% win rate. Whenever you play this card, whenever you draw it or mulligan for it, the win rate of your deck goes down. It is that bad a card. It's a 1-drop, by the way. You want to keep it. You want to play it. It is terrible. The Hunter Soloist is played in decks that are basically have a win rate of 45%. When played, it's down to 39.5%. When you mulligan for it, though, I will give it that. It boosts the win rate by 0.3, which is really weird because the played win rate is so much lower, and the drawn win rate also goes up. That is some weird numbers. Drum Soloist, shockingly included in a Warrior deck that can't even break 40%, has a play win rate 35 points. Again, it just drops everything down except when it's drawn. Don't mulligan for it, don't play it, just draw it and then don't play it and maybe you won. I don't know. The Opera Soloist, this card makes me sad because again, I thought Control Warlock would be good, but it's not working at all right now. 37.5% the decks it's in when played. Again, the numbers are low. Again, it's not surprising for a card like this, but that's the thing about the soloist cards. The reason a lot of the time, right, you're playing them, you're losing, is because you need to be behind for these cards to pay off. And that's really what it comes down to. Why they are such like fails of cards is their payoff. They do have a payoff, don't get me wrong. They have a payoff, but it is not worth the immense sacrifice you have to make for basically foregoing tempo, foregoing battles on the board with minions, and then hoping to play on an empty board or trade a bunch of stuff off to get these minions out and get their effect. At the end of the day, if the soloist minions really need to like succeed and thrive, their payoff needs to be a lot stronger. That's what these numbers are telling me. Like, you see these numbers and the fact that basically every soloist card, except for I guess Keyboard Soloist, when played, makes the win rate of whatever deck it is in worse. Every single one. Cowbell Soloist, by the way, 25% deck win rate, 18% play win rate. We got to do a worst cards video soon. I think these numbers are going to be spectacular. Got to try and get it in before the balance patch, which I think we might get next week, maybe the week after. I hope it's next week. But regardless, it's fascinating to me that I really do feel like the soloist cards may be the worst mechanic we have seen ever in Hearthstone, where if you put basically any of these cards into your deck, you're just making them worse. And I don't know if you could say that so confidently about a mechanic before. Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree, disagree? What do you think the worst mechanic in Hearthstone history is? And why is it not soloist? Enjoy the video. Please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.